Expect to see.
Hold on a minute. Good afternoon. Glad to see everyone. As we say in Wilkes County, we use that plural form of y'all. It's good to see y'all. I'm glad you're here. We'd like to make note that the meeting be live streamed on YouTube. This is our fourth and final meeting for the goal section of the council's work, and we want to thank everybody here for your engagement and the hard work that everyone's put in. We've had some Zoom meetings. They've been a little challenging. I think I had to stop at a Starbucks one day and just set my phone there, and Dr. Cox and Lily took care of that, and I was thankful for that. So we're very appreciative and grateful for everyone. We want to start out with, we're going to have our roll call, and Secretary Lilly will be Zooming. I see him on the screen there. I believe he's in Greensboro for some important work there that's going on now with the governor, and we're thankful for that. And Lee, have you got anything you want to enlighten us with?
Well, first, Mr. Chairman, thank you for your leadership here and allowing me to join remotely just for a little bit. I was in Greensboro today to be part of an announcement of the largest job project in North Carolina history. We welcome Jet Zero to Greensboro, Guilford County, and the Triad region, creating 14,500 jobs, paying $31,000 more on average than the county average, and investing $4.7 billion. And I just think enormous credit, as always, in economic development is shared amongst us between our team, the General Assembly, the community college, the locals, everybody plays a part to bring something like this to fruition. So you have my apologies for not being there in person. We're on our way back east, but I thought we better be here today, make sure we get the deal done. So the work we'll do today, I think, will help to make sure they have a great workforce for those 14,500 jobs that they're looking to create in the Triad region. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, thank you, man. That is huge. Great news. Don't have an accident. You need to keep your hands on the steering wheel there, buddy. Anyway, yeah. Anyhow, we are appreciative. Dr. Cox, you've got some remarks.
Thank you, Senator Settle. Just echo the enthusiasm there, Secretary Lilly, with that huge announcement. That's big by anybody's standard. 14,500 jobs. I think about 89,000 annual wage average. That's a great win for that region in our state. So we're happy you're there and can join us remotely, and look forward to a good session here today. was on, but it wasn't working.
Take that.
Battery died. There it goes.
We wore that one out. Wore that one out. Okay, moving on, you got some materials, a conflict of interest statement that I will read. And you have some of that in your meetings list, but is the duty of every member to avoid both conflicts of interest and the appearance of conflicts of interest. If any committee member has any known conflict of interest or is aware of the facts that might create the appearance of such conflict with respect to any matters coming before the committee today, please identify the conflict or the facts that might create the appearance of a conflict to ensure that any inappropriate participation in that matter may be avoided. If at any time any new matter raises a conflict during the meeting, please be sure to identify it at that time. Any task force, any members have any conflicts to disclose, please raise those now and we will capture those in the minutes. Well, that's good. That's good. The Governor's Council team have provided records training on June 18th, 2 different times. So if you need help with that, we have folks that can help you. We do appreciate it. We want to move on to get right into the business. Did everyone receive the minutes from the last meeting? Everyone had time to read those? Anyone have any comments concerning those minutes? There being none, do we have a motion to accept? And a second? Second. Thank you. Have a first and a second. If there's no objections, we'd ask with A if everyone to approve the minutes. Everyone that will approve say A. And any noes. Minutes are carried over. And I'm going to turn over this part to Dr. Cox.
I think, Secretary Lilly, are you going to be able to run through your part here remotely there, or would you like for me to step in? It's your pleasure, sir.
I should be able to run through it. Yes, sir.
All right, have at it. You're on, Secretary.
Okay. Well, first of all, many thanks, Chairman, for your work, and thank you to all members of the council for your hard work in developing these goals that we're due to submit to the governor. Our deadline is actually Sunday, June 15th, but if we get our work done today, we'll turn in our homework a little bit early. We're going to review the final survey responses and review the final goal language that's been put together collectively by all of us at this time. We really thank you for your feedback, and we have incorporated the final feedback into 11 goals that'll be shared with the governor pursuant to the executive order. We know that we'll continue to collect data to better understand our baselines that we'll use for these quantifiable goals, and we may refine the goals and even potentially add a goal or two as we move into phase 2. But our primary mission in phase 1 was to develop these time-limited and quantifiable goals that we will all hold ourselves accountable to, and the governor certainly will hold us accountable to. And then our next step will be to move to strategies in phase 2. We're going to run through those goals now, I believe, team. Okay, thank you. So the survey responses, we got over 90% acceptance on each of the 11 goals. Our staff, huge credit to them, reached out individually to every council member who provided comments or had questions. And so those changes based upon those comments and questions are reflected in red in the survey, in the goals that we'll review very quickly here. Next slide, please. Workforce development goals. Goal 1, we've heard this one several times. It matches what is going on already. Ensure 2 million North Carolinians aged 25 to 44 will have earned an industry valued credential or degree. All of these goals are time limited nature, is I believe end of 2028. Goal 2, by graduation, every high school student will have completed coursework that results in transferable credit or, and this was added through the survey, credentials and certifications in preparation for the post-secondary pathway of their choice, such as dual enrollment, career and technical education, concentrator, junior reserve officers training corps, JROTC, advanced placement, international baccalaureate, and work-based learning courses. Our DPI teammates are going to help us achieve that goal. Goal 3 for graduating high school students: increased post-secondary enrollment, employment, or enlistment in the military within 12 months of high school graduation. Goal 4, double the number of registered apprenticeships, registered apprentices. That's been a goal the governor's laid out for us since his state of the state. Goal 5, increase participation in work-based learning. We're going to reference a document for several different targets on increasing that participation with some serious quantifiable goals there. Goal 6, engage. We landed on 50,000. It's a big number. We're very ambitious here. And engage 50,000 employers to partner with this council on achieving these goals. We know we can't get anywhere without partnership and engagement from the employer community. So we've got a big number to go out and reach. Goal 7, establish and expand coordinated partnerships between education and workforce agencies and employers to increase alignment of resources to better address current and projected employer needs. That engagement will help us to get there. Partnership will result on an annual basis in the identification of local industry valued training across the education continuum, shared planning for the educational courses to meet these training needs, and increased use of available federal and state funds, and when necessary, braid those funds together to support training in these programs. Goal 8, create statewide sector-based workforce development strategies for at least 3 key industries, including but not limited to advanced manufacturing, education, and healthcare. Goal 9, develop a plan to integrate AI, that's artificial intelligence, AI skills development into sector-based strategies and work-based learning in key industries to build a future-ready workforce. Goal 10, reduce our state government vacancy rate to 15%. And goal 11, launch a coordinated statewide public outreach effort to broaden awareness and participation in workforce by employers, learners, job seekers, and incumbent workers, with an emphasis on reaching undertapped talent pools like rural communities, veterans and their families, individuals with disabilities, and justice-involved individuals. That's a bunch of goals, folks, but I think we've actually refined it from where we started down to 11 bold, I think, ambitious goals that are going to be work for us to achieve, but necessary for us to achieve. So I thank this group for that work.
Thank you, Secretary Lilly, and we do appreciate all the hard work that's gone into these goals and the feedback from the council and everyone. And it's time now to take a vote on these goals. But before we start, and before any acceptance, do we have any questions from any of the members? Dr. Reeves, you don't have any questions? I'm shocked.
I appreciate the feedback and the phone calls.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Anyone have any comments? All right, we give everyone a good chance, and we do appreciate everybody's worked hard, and there's been a lot of feedback on this, and this staff is incredible in what they've done back here, keeping everybody on and guided. So if we don't have any questions, do we have a motion to accept these goals as written? Thank you, Cecilia. We have a second from Dr. Reeves. Thank you. Any comments, any corrections from anyone? There being none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Thank you, Secretary Lilly. We appreciate that. The ayes have it. We appreciate that. There's no anything else. I'll turn it over to, I guess, to Dr. Cox.
I think I'm back up again, Senator Settle, just for a minute, and then I'll go to Dr. Cox.
Carry on, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you very much. And thanks for your leadership, Senator Settle. I know you've got some other things that are pressing on you this afternoon. So we're going to now move forward, that we have accepted these goals and have them ready to turn of effective strategies to accomplish the goals as we've laid out. I'm thankful again for the council's work on these goals. They're truly relevant to the great work happening in this state. and the work we did today. So timeline review yet again here on Friday, tomorrow, the 13th. Goals will be submitted to the governor just in raw form as we saw yesterday. And then on the 25th, a full public report of this council's work will be submitted. The 25th of June through the 25th of July, our staff will divide the council into subcommittees so that in early and mid-August, staff will meet with the subcommittees virtually. Late August, full council will meet in person. We'll be working on a location for that. Early October, we'll have a full council meeting that's virtual. That's roughly a month later. November early, another month later, a full council meeting in person. We'll work on a location there. And then early December, our probably last meeting will be virtual to review all of our strategies, our goals, in anticipation of submission of a final report due to Governor Stein on December 15th. So the subcommittees will meet virtually on an as-needed basis between August and December. All goals are on that 4-year timeline, as we discussed just at the top here, with annual progress reports to be submitted at the end of each calendar year, December 26, 27, and 28. So that's our timeline that we'll be working on for the next 6 months or so. Next, I'll hand this meeting over to President Cox, who's going to set us up in some breakout sessions where we will brainstorm in small groups as we move on to phase 2 of our work. So President Cox, thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, Secretary Lilly. Appreciate that. And yeah, so this is going to be the interactive portion of our agenda. So we're going to break you up into 4 groups. We're going to go through a process here in a minute, and the staff will correct me if I botch this, but I think we're going to count off about 1, 2, 3, 4, get into 4 groups. These aren't going to be any connection to future subcommittees or anything like that. So it'll just be for today's purposes. But we have around the room different stations that we're going to ask you to kind of rotate through and give some feedback to a couple of questions. So I want to note this is avoid the temptation to get into strategizing today about how we're going to solve these problems. We're a bunch of leaders who like to solve problems, and that's not the mission today, to solve the problem. But we do want to think about a couple of key questions as we rotate through each of these groups, and we'll have the staff. We're going to have about 10 minutes at each station. We're going to ask you to think about at that particular location these 2 questions. One, who is missing from our conversations, and who do we need to invite when we start developing those strategies? Who do we need to have around the table having these conversations? And the second one is what presentations or new data do we need to hear and familiarize ourselves with as we develop those strategies? So who do we need to have around the table, and then what additional information or presentations does the council need to inform the work? So I know we had a pre-meeting conversation around trying to get a better feel for what all initiatives are already underway across the state in our healthcare ecosystem. So that'd be one good example of we need to have some of that data. What are those current programs that are working across the state? So that's what our task is going to be for about the next 40 minutes. So the council staff will facilitate the conversations and keep the time as our members of the council rotate around each group. So Group 1, which where is Group 1 going to be located? I can't see that far. I see Group 4 over here. I can see that far. Group 4 here. Group 1 back over there. 2, 3 here. Yeah. And then 4 here. Yeah. So yeah, just around the room, starting 1, 2, 3, 4. So Group 1 is going to take on education and credential attainment. So we'll count off here in a minute. You'll know where you're going to start. But Group 1, and it has it there at each station what you're dealing with. So that'll cover goal 1, goal 2, goal 3. Group 2, work-based learning and apprenticeships. That's going to cover goals 4 and 5. Group 3 will deal with employer engagement and public-private partnerships. So that will take into consideration goals 6, 7, 8, And then group 4 will be the public sector workforce strengthening and future skills goals, and that's goals 9, 10, and 11. So again, try to think about quickly any input we have on who do we need around the table and what additional data do we need to inform each of these goals. We'll collect those, your thoughts there, and then the staff will assemble all that for us. So let's start down here on the end, and if we can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then start over. 2,
3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
You all did that like you were professionals. All right, let's get to our staff. Anything else before we move everybody to their stations? All right, please move to your stations. We'll get to work. Thank you. Okay, folks, we're going to try to reconvene here. If we can get everybody back to the table. Okay, folks, we'll call our meeting back to order here just briefly and do a quick wrap up. I think we've got on the agenda to do a report out from each group, but looking at the scope and magnitude of what I see on all these, I'm gonna pivot a little bit to say just open the floor up briefly for 3 or 4 minutes of any takeaways, comments that any of the council members would want to offer on that exercise. Any thoughts that anybody has they want to bring up. Open it up to the council just for general observations. I think the plan is going to be the staff is going to take all this information that we have collected and compile that back for us to consider. So a lot of great information. I know in our group we had a lot of really good conversation. It looks like everybody did. Open it up. Anybody? Comments? Questions? Snide remarks? Anything?
I'll just add that there was a lot of overlap for the groups, which I think is encouraging.
Yeah.
Because it really does feel like we don't necessarily have to recreate the wheel for each of the goals. It's just something that is.
Yeah, that's a great point. I saw that certainly as we went around. Oh yeah. A lot of common good. Brian, I'll call you out. You had some really good ideas going around from our business and industry perspective and the healthcare. Any observations you want to share with the group? Kind of what we were talking about.
A lot of common links to this, and it's so tempting to keep going into strategy.
Yeah.
As opposed to what it asks us to do. But the who seemed to be, from a common perspective, I thought, convening organizations between industry and convening organizations between educators, apprenticeship work. All of them have trade association type programs.
Yeah.
Immediately start to work, and the big challenge becomes where's the source of free data pipeline perspective.
Right.
The strategy work would be fun and easier because there are a lot of things we are seeing and know that we can be doing.
Yeah.
That just need to be coordinated across the industry, perhaps, to have more efficiency. But yeah, I think we heard a lot of the same kind of things. I think the industries, I mean, the reason I'm here is our industries are not just trying to do this, we are in desperate need.
Right.
This problem being solved. So I think what may not be as clear based on history is how much will industry show up and how much will they invest the time and resource into doing something with all this.
Right.
It's remarkable how far we're willing to go to pay for, be part of,
Yeah.
thrive. Because at least in the healthcare industry, it's bankrupting our hospitals.
Yeah.
Particularly rural communities that are just not working.
Right. Now, if ever necessity was the mother of invention, this is that we are in those times. And when we talked about, I shared with you the model up there at the Northern Regional Hospital, and that CEO telling me he didn't have travel nurses anymore because of that partnership they cultivated and building that pipeline locally. So figuring out where these pockets of excellence, I saw that several times around, where are those examples we need to highlight and showcase? Yes. So that's a great point. Other comments, anybody? It's late in the afternoon. You all brain dead like me, maybe. Well, Well, we appreciate deeply everybody's commitment to this council. And again, thank Secretary Lilly. I see is still online there. Secretary, any closing comments from you, sir? We'll let you have the last word.
Just my gratitude to this council. Great work here for the last several months. I think the governor will be pleased with what we're sending him. And now our hard work starts. We got to build the strategies to achieve it. So thanks very much for your commitment. And thanks very much to the staff for all the hard work they've done as well.
Yep. They're doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I know our team's chipping in, helping some, but you all are carrying the load for sure. So thanks to all of you all. Secretary Lilly, thank you. Council members, thank you. And we are dismissed. Thank you.